Good morning, good morning. Hey, it's Sunday. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you all for being here on this fabulous morning. This is Frosty. Hey, good morning, Steve LaPointe, my most hated member. Hope you're doing well. Jack Allman's in the house. What's going on, Jack? Thank you so much for being here. Yesterday, you were gifted a free membership, so congratulations on that. Siren, my mod from Extraordinarity, thank you so much for posting those links. If you want to look at a different view, so for instance, if you were in portrait mode and you want to go to landscape mode, up at the top, you can just click on those pinned items and it will take you to the other mode. You can go back and forth depending upon what works best for you. So hope everybody's doing well. Good morning, Jeff Davis, Chad Brockman, AZ Coins are in the house. Me is here. What's going on, Me? Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. Steve LaPointe was very busy this morning asking a bunch of questions. We're going to get to some of those. So give us a few moments. Let's say hi to everybody. Silver Spur, what's going on? Hope you are doing well. See people jumping back into the other one. Silver Spur 420, hope you were well. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning, Paula. How are you?
Good morning. I am well.
Make sure you're smashing that like, folks. Thank you so much. Definitely appreciate that. Let's do this.
Everybody. I'm just a big circle.
You're just a big circle.
I'm just a big circle on the screen.
You're actually, you kind of look like a pill.
A pill. I am a pill. I've heard that before.
Oh, speaking of pills, I was about to say good morning to somebody. I better finish my statement before I say that. We had seen some positive movement in a couple different areas after the video that we did, Chuck, Paula, Amanda, and myself. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. Good morning, Nana. Hope you're doing well. Thank you all for being here. I definitely appreciate you all coming in. Again, make sure you're smashing that like button. I do appreciate it. Scotty Quaddy, what's up, brother? Good to see you. All right. So, Paula, why don't you talk about what we were talking about just a few moments ago about the removal of something because of comments and stuff that have been made by members of our community?
So, actually, I think it was basically you and me.
There have been some other people that have commented on other things. It's not just that, but
but on that video, that specific video.
Morning, Becky.
I don't know if
morning, Big Flip.
Any of the other videos. Good morning, everybody. Morning, Flip. I appreciate you first. I don't know if any other comments or videos have been removed, but our friend Wheats to Shields, who like Frostbyte said, we did that whole video, posted it on three of our channels and everything. And well, she had made a video a few days ago about she was going to teach us what the difference between a double die and machine doubling was. And she just screwed the pooch on that video. Completely got it wrong.
Yeah. So first, it was double die, not doubled die. And I about died laughing when I first started listening to this. And so what happens as it goes through the process, there's something funky that happens with the machine.
It goes down the line. Yeah, it goes down the line.
And I'm like, whoa. What? Yeah. So, again, she, based off of our feedback, she has removed her video. And so
yeah, she removed that video. She got some comments she probably didn't appreciate from myself and the live coin Q&A. From myself and Frostbyte. And then a couple other people had commented on the video telling her, oh, good information or whatever. And Frostbyte and I proceeded to reply to those comments as well.
Yeah. It's like, because again, folks, and we know this, right? We all do this. For those of you that are content creators, we know that our friends and our family are always going to say good job. Whether they watch the damn video or not, they're going to go in and say good job, right? We know that. And it's always the same person. It could be a secondary account of hers. It could be her significant other. I don't know how else to say that without being ignorant or indignant. And so we don't know. And it's like, do you even understand coins? Like, are you even a real account? Like, do you understand the stuff that's coming out? Now, there were people in this video. There were two people who actually were asking questions. She hadn't responded yet, and I'm glad that she removed that, because
I am too. That was good.
That's a couple people in the community who now don't watch the horrible information that was being given out. Now, folks, when we do stuff, every once in a while, you may say something, or we may trip over our own tongue. Or I'm fairly new to this. Again, I'm still 2 years into really understanding and looking at and digging in and delving into coins and stuff. So I'm still a babe when it comes to the experience of many of these people that I work with. And so I will trip over myself quite frequently and say something almost right, but not quite. And so if that was to happen, then that's not a big deal, right? We get it. We can understand it. People make mistakes. But this was so blatantly wrong. Blatantly wrong.
It was really bad.
Hey, Justin Andrews, thank you for subscribing. Much appreciated. Thank you so much. And so what we want to do is we really want to make sure that we're giving out good, solid information. But again, you're going to see more stuff like this. Now, we talked about this yesterday in the stream. We talked about how Chuck is putting out a lot of really good, solid content right now. The subscribers are going up. There's a lot of great activity on his channel. But we really need to focus on putting out some good, solid information. But again, I just wanted to celebrate the fact that, hey, people are taking notice of this. So continue to go in and, look at them and say, hey, you know what? Hey, that's not correct. This is what's going on. You're sharing bad information. We're on a mission to do this. We continuously look at stuff. I haven't seen her post anything new. The bigger spam channels, and we talk about Coins of Rosie and stuff like that all the time, American Coins.
They could care less.
USA Coins, they don't care. They're not tracking their stuff. This is a factory for them. They change 2 or 3 items, same video, different content. They go through, AI change their information, they push it out, it's done. Like this is an assembly line for them. They don't care. Certain channels we're not going to be able to have any impact or effect on. So we know this, right?
She has no excuse, because she had access to the best information out there, the information that she plagiarized, and she learned nothing. She learned nothing from it, which is okay. And I'm being way too harsh on her. I shouldn't say that, because there are definitely channels out there that are way worse than her. The biggest problem with her is that she mixes in good information with bad. So she gets some things kind of right, and then some things really wrong. And that can be very, very confusing too. So I do think she's at least making some attempt at learning something. And maybe she'll get better by osmosis. I don't know.
Well, but here's the thing. So there are some people now, if she really wants to learn to pick up content, she just has no idea. And there are people out there that really want to do decent stuff, and they just have no idea. But instead of taking time to learn, they just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. We also have members in the community who know better and still talk out both ends of their Yahoo. That's problematic, right? And so Yeah, I want to address something real quick. Yuck, I don't know why that happens. Um, Audio quality in portrait mode is better than on landscape mode. I'm not sure why that's going on. It's the exact same device, the exact same structure set up. It must be something coming through YouTube. I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah, that's
But that's weird. There's
well,
other people saying that
listen
they've
on
noticed it, but
portrait. Watch on landscape and listen on portrait.
they have a couple different devices open. There
Have
you
a
go.
couple devices open.
Double
I
dip
do
it.
right
That's
now.
I'm all for that actually.
I have two. I have two open right now. So
Yeah, well, and I do too, simply because of monitoring
yeah.
chat on both sides. But audio sounds fine here on landscape. Thanks, Cad Hunter. I appreciate it. But yeah, anyway, so we wanted to share that out. There's something else that we want to talk about. And Paula, if you will share, actually, you have that up already. I'm going to share
Have it
this.
up.
All right. So this is something that Paula has done. I'm going to actually make this bigger. Hopefully you can read that. This is a really good post. Now, this is something, as many of you know, this has been a problem throughout the collecting hobby. And you're looking at that infamous L on the rim. Again, not a thing, but people have made it a thing. It's becoming a problem. So we want to kind of share a little bit on this. So, Paula, if you'll go over this, this is your item. So let's go ahead and talk about this particular topic now.
Yeah, so Frostbyte got kind of a taste of it this morning. You pulled up eBay, and
I'll show that stuff in just a minute.
Before, but yeah, it's really becoming an issue on eBay. So I thought I would just bring it up so that if you guys are ever in streams or whatever and you hear people talking about this, you can screenshot this, or if you're in my Facebook group, I posted it in a couple Facebook groups. But if you're in the LiveCoin Q&A Facebook group, go ahead and you can grab that content. I don't care. However you want to use it, use it. If you want to make a video about it or whatever.
Hold on, Paula. There's something going on. Let me do this. I apologize.
That's okay.
There you go. Now you guys should start seeing the screen. Look at that. Check that out.
What happened?
There was an issue. It said that connection didn't occur, so it didn't log into the StreamYard. There you guys go. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I was showing it on my screen, but it wasn't going through YouTube, so I didn't notice the error. So I had to clear the error and do that over again.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that just means I can talk more. I'll start over.
Like that's ever been a problem.
Like I know it's never been a problem, but whatever. Anyway, yeah. So I got in another discussion with somebody, an argument basically, with somebody yesterday, and so kind of just created this post and posted it in a few of the Facebook groups that I moderate. So if you guys want, it's in the LiveCoin Q&A Facebook group, or you can just screenshot this, however you want to do it, make your own video, take the wording, whatever you want, and make a video. But this is basically so that if you see people talking about it, you have an explanation of why this is not an error. And I'm just going to read you the post because it's easier that way. So it says L on the rim in a nutshell. I read this explanation a while ago. This is as good an explanation as any. So this came from Coop in one of the coin community groups, and he's a smart guy. Don't always agree with him, but I definitely agree with him on this. The L on the rim is not an error. There's a couple contributing factors. One is simple wear, and two, the master hub for the cent had seen decades of use, and over time it had broadened from use. Now the master hub is where up the chain, where eventually all of the working dies are born from. So the master hub is the big daddy, and down the line from the master die to the working hub, from the working hub to the working die. The working dies are what actually strike the coin, but the master die is the big daddy that makes all of those. Or it starts out, it has the design, and after a while, it became broadened from use. So the more master dies, the more working hubs, everything, as those happened, they became broader from use. Um, as it did, so the lettering moved out further and further from the center to the edge, basically. Then, when the die was turned in the lathe, the proper diameter, this meant that the lettering got closer and closer to the rims. By 1968, the L in Liberty and the tops of In God We Trust were often beginning to merge with the rim. And you see that a lot, especially on 1968 cents. Like the whole In God We Trust and the L of Liberty will all be kind of blended into the rim. In 1969, a brand new master hub was created that reduced the size of the bust, sharpened the details, and moved the inscriptions in closer to the center and away from the rims. If you put a 1968 cent next to a 1969, you will see the changes are rather dramatic, and that is true. So the best way for you guys to see it yourself is to, and you can even go on PCGS CoinFacts and look at a 1968 cent and a 1969 cent, and you will see huge differences. And that's all it is. Now, someone had brought up to me that just the fact that the mint let this happen makes it an error. Well, that's not true, because minting errors are unintentional. And this is definitely intentional. The mint knew this was happening. They could see it progress over time. It took decades for it to happen. They didn't care. They just continued cranking out dies and knew it was happening. So it was definitely an intentional thing by the mint. Maybe not by design. Maybe they didn't intend for it to happen, but it happened and they didn't care. So it was definitely intentionally allowed to happen. So that is not a minting error. The mint considered it within tolerance, so we consider it within tolerance, and therefore it's not a minting error. Make sense?
Absolutely.
Aye, Captain.
Yeah, so let me share this real quick with you, and we'll go.
Yeah, I got a couple ads too, Frostbyte. So
I turned those off, so the ad should be done. I thought I turned those off, but I used I went back through and used an old one, an old stream where I guess I just hadn't shut that off. But I want to share this with you real
millions
quick.
and millions and billions of coins, billions of coins. Yeah. So basically, from about 1918 to 19, the same master hub was used. And
so if you go search L on Rim, you'll go through and you'll see just tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of these. Now, these are all sold listings, and there's something that Paul has explained regarding sold listings. I think it's really important for people to understand when you're looking at eBay and you're seeing this. And that is understanding that just because it's got a price here doesn't mean that that's sold for that particular price.
Yeah. Because you see where it says on the left, completed and sold.
Yeah.
So it basically lumps completed and sold into one category.
Yeah. So you've got to take that completed out and just show the sold items.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this one still is here. It still shows up. It's here. So you scroll back down and you see this particular one. Again, blurry images, L on Rim. Unfortunately, this person is going to find out the hard way that they ever try to change it, it's not going to be worth it. But it's not a thing, folks. You have to be careful. If you look at some of these,
that could have been best offer for sure.
Yeah,
but even $1 is too much, because it is not an error. So they sold it for something that it's just not.
Yeah.
It's a normal coin. So
now
all different dates, you'll see.
In going through this, we also got to identify some other issues. And this is a coin that I wanted to share because, again, these are, and you saw this one, Paul, already.
Yeah.
These are the unfortunate part of this hobby. This is where people who don't know what they're looking at or they hope that they understand. They've heard about a coin, they think they found something that the other person doesn't realize they have, and simply because they don't understand the minting process and what needs to happen, what design elements should be on something, they end up getting caught. And so this is a great example. I'm going to share this screen, open this up a little bit more, and show this. Now, this is a great example of um, something that is wrong. So I'm not, Paula, please don't say this out loud. I'm going to leave it to the folks in chat to provide some insight. Now, here is the front of the coin. Okay, so I want you to look at the elements that are here. And the front of the coin is good. No issues. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, just a worn, yeah,
Okay.
circulated. Yep.
But when looking at this, this is probably the best photo. So I want you guys to look at this a little bit. And again, don't worry about getting it wrong. It's not about getting it wrong. It's about
I'm going to pull something up while you're doing that, too.
Yeah, it's about making sure that people understand kind of what they're looking at. My likes thing's not working, so I'm going to remove that. Yes, it's blank. Yoxnav, you're brilliant, man. Nice job. No, but what's wrong with it? There you, Rockzilla, smagged it. Sand it down. Okay, so how do we know that it's been sanded down? Right? What is it that you look like? No rim. Okay, perfect. So, and Paula and I talked a little bit about this, and she walked through this. But again, understanding the minting process is extremely important, because this is what you might see in a blank, right? Where it's large, it's kind of whatever, and then there's no rim. There could be some other things that happen with this particular one, but anyway, there's no rim. You can see actually here on the edge. I'm not sure if you can see this on here, but when you look at this particular area, you can see. And I see you shared something. Give me just a second.
No, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
You go do it. Yeah.
You can see where it once was there. Okay. Right here. You can see where that rim used to be, and that rim is no longer there. So definitely is something that has been sanded down. Now, somebody's saying that it looks rounded. It could be. Yeah, it could be a little bit dome shape. That could just be reflection of the light. There's no weight on this. They didn't show any weight. When you look at this, there's, again, there's no weak strike. So this person, Paula, you want to talk about what people might have thought it was?
So this person, now whether this person did it or not, we'll never know. Somebody did this intentionally. They could have been trying to make a love token or something. But this was sanded down. And somebody probably thought this was a uniface strike. So what a uniface strike is when two planchets enter the striking chamber at the same time. You'll actually end up with two coins that are uniface. One with an obverse, one that's been struck by the obverse die, and one that's been struck by the reverse die. And on the opposite sides of both of those, there'll be nothing, which is why it's called a uniface, one face. And I have a picture of an actual uniface. That pulled up. So you can definitely see the difference. There is a upset rim on the one side, and on the struck side, there's actually kind of some thinning because there's extra pressure. So you'll get some metal kind of spillage, I guess, or I don't know, for lack of a better term, over the sides because there's extra pressure in the striking chamber, right? Because you have two planchets on top instead of one. Two. And so yeah, there are definite differences. Don't ever fall for that. You will see that a lot. And that coin probably circulated for a while, because the one that Frostbyte showed, because it wore off most of the sanding, the evidence that it had been sanded or ground down. Oftentimes you will see those marks on the side, but this one's been smoothed down, or they could have just used a smoothing, disc or whatever. So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell because the images aren't very clear. And again,
Yeah, and that's probably by design.
I would say it's by design. The one that you can actually see some good detail in the rim is so dark you can't see anything.
Yeah.
And this could be, the person could be the one actually trying to trick people into buying something, or they could just not really know. But again, this is one that you guys need to be aware of.
We will never know. This goes back to intent that we talked about yesterday. We won't know. This person, you couldn't really prosecute that person for fraud, because all they would have to say is, well, I didn't know, I bought it that way, or, I didn't know. So you can't prove, you have to prove intent.
Yeah. And so, but here's again, you look at some of the listings, and I've pulled up a couple of the egregious ones. No, L on rim, $500. In no world is this coin worth $500. Right? It can't be an RPM. I mean, unless I don't see any doubling in that, but you'd have to really get in and look at it.
So it says the famous no mint mark, which is, we also talked about that yesterday.
Yep.
And that means nothing.
No.
That means nothing. So unless you had a 1990 proof that was missing the S, no mint mark means nothing. It just means that it was most likely minted in Philadelphia. There are certain dates it could have been minted in San Francisco or West Point, but that's a topic for another day.
Now, if you had a 2017 that had no mint mark, that would be something.
No, well, it would be something. If you had a 2017 business strike that had no mint mark, it would probably mean that it was struck through grease. Because I imagine by now, had there been 2017 P's minted without the P,
somebody would have found one by now. Yeah.
Yeah, but you very well could have struck through grease. But most likely not an omitted mint mark.
So, Cad, this is exactly what we were talking about with this particular coin here, which was, where is it? Oh, hold on. This one right here. So, Cad said exactly what we talked about on this one. So, one bid ended, sold for $1,200. And that's exactly what we were talking about, Cad, which is they're either tricksters trying to make money or they're money laundering. And again, we talked about money laundering in this particular fashion. There's a very good potential. Now, I'm not saying this is what's going on in this particular one, because again, I'm not here to insult or whatever anybody's knowledge or whatnot. But again, yeah, it's very important that people understand. Right, like,
or there was a shill bid from a friend of theirs or something, to make people think that it was worth something. Oh, somebody bid $200, but
as please hit the thumbs up, or I will come to your home and criticize your coin collection.
Well, now
you got jokes. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Make sure you're smashing that thumbs up, folks. I appreciate you. But again, I want you guys, we're talking about this because, again, we're here about protecting the community and making sure you all understand that some of these listings are they're unreal. But as you look through here, you're going to see, again, $250. I'm really, really, really hoping somebody didn't spend $225 on this particular one.
Well, oftentimes when you see that one bid, So if you do a lot of eBay shopping or whatever, you'll notice if you go into, so if you click on the bid, click on that bid where it says one bid, it probably started, well, he has to log in. Yeah, hide
Right.
that and then whatever. But if you click on that bid, you'll notice that oftentimes the seller will start something off with a bid. And it's the minimum bid that it's the minimum that they will accept on a sale. So sometimes they'll start bidding off at $1, which a lot of people do that. They'll start it off at $1 or 99 cents.
I'm not going to be able to pull that up.
Okay, and usually those are legit. Like those are legit things. People that just want, like, they think that their coin's worth $1 million, so they're going to put it up on eBay. That will be the minimum bid that they will be willing to accept. So you can tell by just clicking on that one bid, and it'll come up. And the one bid is where the seller started it off at $225.
Well, I've seen it to where they've had one bid, and that was the person who won it, though.
Well, it will always show as the person who won it if they end it, if they end the listing. So they will put it, like I said, they will put it for 2 weeks, okay, or a week. They'll put it for a week. They'll give it a 1 week time frame. And if that 225 that was the first bid is the only bid they get, then it will end, and it will show as sold for that 225 bid.
Right.
Just
Good day, Mr. Lopez.
Any auction, right?
Yeah.
Any auction.
Yeah.
At the end of the countdown, whoever has the highest bid wins the bid, wins the auction. So.
Yeah, but again, there's tons of them for here, and again, it's just not a thing, folks.
And even $1 is too much.
Yeah. So just beware, right? And
just be aware and spread it. Spread the information. And like I said, you have something concrete to take to people when they'll say, well, how do you know it's not an error? Well, here you go. Now they may still not believe you, but then you can come back at them and say, well, if you believe it's an error, then you have the burden of proof. You tell me how you think this happened during the minting process. What caused this? They need to bring you evidence. They need to use evidence-based numismatics and come back at you with what they think caused it. Because the burden of proof is on the owner of the coin. It's not on you.
And that's where that whole caveat emptor thing is, right? That's why they say buyer beware, because if the buyer doesn't ask the questions, they're only responsible for disclosing those things that are asked about. There are some legal items and property that they have to disclose, but again, it's up to you to ask. So, and again, if you see somebody with zero, no feedback, no sales, first listing, they've only been open for 2 weeks, doesn't mean that they're necessarily bad. It just means that you need to pay attention to it.
And a picture from across the room, right?
Yeah. So,
I mean, no grade, mint condition. What does that even mean? No grade, mint condition.
Yeah, and it's definitely not mint condition.
No.
Yeah.
Far from it.
Yeah, this is definitely not mint condition.
So all kinds of red flags. But this is what this type of stuff is for. When Frostbyte does this and we do our live streams and stuff like that, it's to make you guys better collectors, so that, like Amy said, she stays away from eBay because of things that she reads. We want you to know enough that you can go on eBay and feel safe. At least, if you buy something on eBay and the picture is exactly, and the description is correct, and the picture is exactly, what you think you're buying, then you can be pretty safe in your knowledge. Now, sometimes you will get a coin that's not what they say in the description, but then you just return it.
Right. Well, and again, folks, it doesn't mean that you can't buy on eBay. Just make sure you have a trusted source. We have friends that have extremely good items for sale, and they sell on whatnot. They sell on eBay. They 100% can be trusted. However, there are certain things that you need to be aware of when you are buying from those sites. And I talk about whatnot, and again, this isn't knocking any of our friends who do this, because again, they provide good content. But whatnot, you can very, very quickly overpay for something, very, very quickly. And so you have to be very aware of what you're doing. You have to understand what's happening. And, 2 or 3 clicks because you get caught up in the moment, all of a sudden now you're spending $50 for a $30 coin or a $20 coin. So just be leery about that, right? Buy from trusted sources. Make sure those sources are people that you know and are reliable. If I go to Blue Ridge, I can guarantee that I'm going to be getting the product that he tells me I'm going to be getting the product. If I go to Ghosts and Ghouls, or I go see Adam in his chat, I'm going to be seeing exactly what it is that I'm going to be getting. I know that it's going to be the right stuff. But even in those, it doesn't mean that because of the quick boom, 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 you're not going to overpay for something. Now, with that being said, just the opposite is true as well. You can find some really good deals. If somebody doesn't really understand what's being stated, nobody's interested in it, you can get a really good deal there as well. So just be number one, understand what it is that you have. Number two, make sure that you understand what it is you're buying and who it is you're buying from. It's just, that's just standard practice. But I would buy on eBay before I bought on whatnot, simply because of the risk of overspending. It's too fast. I don't care for whatnot personally.
Yeah, it's tough.
So Southern Coin says I sell on whatnot, but if somebody overpays, I compensate them. But you're under no obligation to do so, right? And so you do that because you want to. That's good for you. That's good on you. But nobody's under any obligation to do that. And if you're not paying attention, very, very quickly, you can overpay. Now, I did that, and again, Sean's a good guy, but I went in, I wanted a very specific innovation dollar, purchased it. I thought I was purchasing it for about $25. 2 other people bid. I clicked it because I thought I wanted it. And next thing I know, I was paying $40 for it. Yeah. I'm like, whoa, what the hell? And it's fine, not a big deal, right? I was in there, I was bidding. I should have been paying more attention. But again, it's not just one off. This has happened a number of times. And so I just don't go there. It doesn't matter if I know them and I respect them and I trust them. I won't buy there because of the pretense that I will most likely overspend. So you got to know yourself as well, right? Make sure you understand what's going on. And there's a lot of people that are there to support the channels. And that's fine if you want to do that. But if that's also a selling tactic that people use. Hey, if you just want to support me, it's worth what you're willing to pay. That's a really bogus statement.
Well, yeah, I mean, if that was truly the case, you could just throw them $5 in PayPal, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, say if you don't need to overpay, $50 on something. You just shoot them a PayPal for $5 or something if you want to support them. I don't know, whatever. But I like to look. I've overpaid. We've all overpaid for stuff. I've intentionally overpaid for stuff because it was something I really wanted. Now you won't see me in auctions fighting over stuff. I'm too cheap. And you won't see me on whatnot because I like to look at stuff before I buy stuff. And I just don't have enough time on whatnot to really look at stuff and research it and look, I don't know prices in my head by memory. I like to be able to look up, gray shade
Yeah, I'm the same way.
and yeah. So
Well, and again, I have nothing against Whatnot, folks. If that's the platform you want to use, then be all for it.
it's fun. It
I
can be really fun, and
it,
sometimes you can get some really great
you
giveaways.
can, yeah. Well, there's, and again, there's CAD says the nature of auctions is the possibility of a deal, right? That is very true. Um, what I stated, and if I wasn't very clear on this, I want to be very clear. The reason Frosty, the reason I won't do it is because I get caught up in the moment, and I
Yeah.
will always overbuy, and I will always overspend on Whatnot. I have to limit myself. Now, when I go to a coin auction or I go to an auction house, if I'm looking for a car, I've done different things in my life where I've gone to actual auction houses and bid on artwork and things of that nature. It's a totally different environment. It is very quick, but you have time to look at it. You have time to investigate it. You have time to see exactly what the element is and ask questions and inspect it. You always have the opportunity, unless you're doing something like the closed door auctions on storage units. So people do that blind, right? Which I think is a little foolish sometimes. But again, it's gamble, reward, whatever you want to do. I'm talking about myself and why I won't go to Whatnot. So I'm not
That is
poo-pooing
true,
Whatnot,
Bella's Forge.
but
That is true. There
yeah.
is a custom bid option and whatnot. That is true. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine. But again, it's just a platform. It doesn't mean that, people can't
Yeah.
use it. It's just the way I do.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I mean, I like to be able to, and some people do have auction preview lot, where you can preview some of their lots.
Yeah.
But for the most part, most sellers don't have that option where you can go in and preview anything. And I like to be able to look stuff up, and I'm a cherry picker too, so I'll look for varieties and things like that they don't have it listed as, but.
Yeah, no, that's one good thing I will say about eBay
Mhm.
is that, and Amanda's found some amazing stuff. She found a Henning nickel on eBay and kind of
No, that she found that on USA Coin Book.
was it a USA Coin Book?
Yeah, in a 5 nickel lot, she found that
I thought that was on eBay.
penning nickel.
Oh,
No, it was on USA Coin Book. People forget that USA Coin Book you can get some deals on that too. You just have to know, again, once again, it's all about education
understanding what
and
you're looking
knowledge.
for. Yeah.
Yep, and understand what you're looking at and what you're looking for. Yep. So the more educated you are, the better all around collector you're going to be. You're going to be better at buying, selling, everything. Um,
Oh, cool. So what questions do you all have? So feel free to ask a question in chat. Let's go ahead and do that. So if you have questions you want to ask about a very specific coin, you want to talk about a topic, let's go ahead and open the time up to chat. Does eBay still guarantee shipping?
I don't know.
I don't think they do. I honestly don't know the answer to that. I know that if you ship through eBay, you have a little bit more protection, but the buyer's way more protected than the seller.
How far is the moon from the Earth? Closer than Uranus. I don't know. Is that true?
Yes, it's definitely closer than.
Closer than Uranus.
It's 238,900 miles.
You opened yourself up for that one, Coin Junkie. Just saying.
And you didn't say whether you wanted it in kilometers, so. CAD Roll Hunter gave it to you in kilometers. There you go. So let's go back. I see very little trust and expertise with most people. I have a very thin, small group that I buy from. And that's fine, right? Making sure that you have a very close-knit set of people, that's fine. No big deal.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
That's, again, you have to have just a few people in your circle. This is where networking comes into play. What's important about that is having people. So, for instance, and I've told you guys this time and time again, and if you're new to the channel, and I want you to listen to this, I don't have to be your single shop stop for information. What I want to do is I want to be a source that people can come to and say, hey, Frosty, there's this concern. I have this issue. I need to look at this coin. Hey, I found something on eBay. I know that you deal with Paula and Jack Young and stuff. Can you get this into Jack's hands so that he can be aware of it? And many of you have sent stuff to me that I have in turn turned around and sent to Jack and said, hey, can you look into this listing? And usually within a day or two, he'll come back and say, listing's removed. And so if I can be that person, hey, you guys want to ask a question to Chuck, or you want to know something about that, and you don't want to go to him directly, I don't have a problem doing that. Because what this is about is getting you the right information. There was a comment earlier in here that said that there's so much information. I think it was Chad. There's so much information in here. How are you expected to remember it all? How are you supposed to? And you're not.
You're not.
You're not.
Mm-hmm.
What you do is you find people who are experts in a very specific set of areas. Speaking of the devil, hey, Mike, how you doing,
I
bud?
was just going to mention him. I was just going to say,
Yep.
you can find people that you know, like Mike and Matt.
Yeah.
And Mike said to me yesterday that he was going to keep an eye out for me for that Isabella and that die cap.
Yeah.
So, you can find people that you know that work or own coin shops and use them as, your source or one of your sources.
But you do not have to be the expert in everything. And I'm going to give you a business analogy, okay? And this is something that when I train, so I do systems analysis, I do management and programs analysis. My job is to look at systems and find ways to improve it. That's what I do for a living. And so as I look at things, one thing I always ask is, what is the leadership going to need? What is the leadership going to have? And so in order to do that, I have to do what's called a stakeholder analysis. And a stakeholders analysis does this. It makes sure that I have the right people engaged for what it is that I'm trying to do. It doesn't matter if I'm trying to build a network infrastructure to sustain a hospital, or if I'm trying to build a piece of software for end user. It doesn't matter. I need to have the right people engaged, which means I have to have tech support. I need to have a salesman. I need to have customer service. I need to have an end user. I need to have somebody extremely experienced, and I have to have somebody extremely new. And so I have to bring people in. I've said this so many times, I kind of get tired of repeating myself. One of the best things you can do in a group is have somebody brand new, because they can ask you questions that you forget to ask yourself. And so what I want people to understand about this particular channel is that I don't have all the information, but I really have worked to try to connect myself with channels that do. If I'm going ancients, I am definitely going to Matt, Mike, and Aaron Burke. Period, end of story. That's my beeline. That's exactly where I'm going to. If I am looking at 2 and 3 cent pieces and I want to learn about some of the obscure rarities, I'm running over to Matic Coins. I'm talking to Shay. I'm going to, hey, dude, I got a question for you. This is really what I want to know about. If I'm looking at copper coins, I'm running to Chuck. I'm ready to go sit down and say, hey, let's go through a couple of these things. There are people who are very adept at understanding. And again, obviously, if I need to validate or verify something is true and authentic, I'm going to be sending really good quality, high-grade images to Livecoin, right? And saying, hey, look at this and help me out. And I'll be talking with Paula, and we'll be going through. I'll get with Amanda and those folks, get with Shay, and just look through those items. Having a network is extremely important, but it starts with a small, trusted group of people. If you have a good coin shop, and I want to clarify, a good coin shop, where if they don't know, they will tell you they don't know, and they will bring somebody in to that conversation to make sure that they give you the right information. Those are the people you want in your life. Okay. What I don't want you guys to do is take your neighbor who one time got a coin from their grandmother. They took a coin shop and now they know everything about coins, right? Facebook Medical. How many people have heard about that, right? I'm going to recommend this medication because my Aunt Sally said it was good. Be very careful with some of that stuff. Yox now, like Pawn Stars, right? Outside of some of that stuff being staged, I know a guy who can help you. Give me a minute. Let me call my people, and I'll come and we'll make sure that we get the right information to you. It's exactly, now, not in that necessarily that fashion, but the same general construct, the same general idea. Because the best thing you can do in life is, if you were good at something, focus on it. And then surround yourself with people who are good at those areas you're not. And that you utilize them, you help them in the way that Tiger Stacker and I do this a ton. Tiger is inept when it comes to high quality technical issues. I'm not degrading Tiger. He'll be the first one to say this. Tiger's a brilliant dude. He's an ER physician. He's a scientist. He understands stuff. You talk about stacking and coordination in an organization. He's got so much more knowledge about that than I do. We trade back and forth. Tiger is a major force when it comes to me understanding some of the science behind stacking, collecting, and understanding, things like specific gravity if I want to test a coin. I'm going to him. I'm asking him because I know he knows. But he's going to contact me if he has IT issues. So it's important to have a good, solid group of people in your case. And so when you come in, and again, I talk about 5 or 6 channels religiously here, because most of what you'll need in coin collecting can be found in those 5 or 6 channels. Because if those 5 or 6 channels don't have that information, they're going to bend over backwards to get it for you. And so find a good, solid source of people that really understand, and then utilize them for your go-to. And use the other ones for your entertainment value. Go check them out and go watch the fun stories that they do, and go watch them because they're funny, right? That's great. But make sure you have a really solid set of people for information, because that's how you succeed. That's how leaders succeed. And so, but yeah.
And don't keep good information to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. My grandfather used to always tell me the best thing you can do is work yourself out of a job, right? Teach people what you know, because only then do you have the opportunity to move out of your position. If you hold on to everything, the only person that you're helping is yourself. It's of no benefit to anybody else. And if you're of no benefit to anybody, then, I won't say, what good are you? But
so Southern Coin Hunter, I have a question for you. How did you know how to identify that? What tipped you off? Listen, it gets all quiet. Like we're waiting for him to talk.
Oh yeah. They can keep on talking. He'll post the stuff in chat, but they told me.
Oh, they told
you. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, because in case you guys didn't know, there's a little channel out there called the Live Coin Q&A that may have done an entire stream with a counterfeit expert, Mr. Jack Young, talking about that specific topic. Fake Morgans in fake PCGS holders with correct cert numbers. Morgans.
Well, and again, we talk about this. What's also important is to look at the fact that they are paying attention to us as well.
Sure.
Okay.
I have fun with you guys.
Because now there's the non-Morgan.
There is the non-Morgans, and we discussed that too.
Yeah, and so, but again, here's where, folks, you are not expected to know everything. But here's what I'm going to ask you to do. And if you guys have a pen and a piece of paper handy, I'm going to give you Frosty's insight. This is just my insight. You can take it or leave it. If anybody wants to add, Mike, you can add in chat. If you want to add anything to this list, Paula, obviously you're free to do so as well. Two things. I don't care if you know everything about the coin that you want to buy. It doesn't matter to me. But I want you to know enough about the coin to be able to ask intelligent questions. Okay? How do you verify its authenticity? You should be able to know what a real coin looks like. You should know the design elements well enough. If you're really seriously looking at buying a coin, understand what some of the common fakes are, right? How do you do that? Well, look it up. Just check it out. Look it up. Go check out and see what's there. Number two, frame a couple questions, right? If I need to look at the weight and stuff like that, ask your coin channels. Ask your, your coin shop. If you're buying gold, for instance, right? Hey, can you show me on the machine? Can you show me that it shows as real gold? Can we weigh it, right? Can we look at it? Can you talk to me about how I would identify and authenticate a coin? Ask questions, right? Have them show you. If you go to a coin shop and you ask them to show you on the Sigma and they get offended, leave the coin shop. Okay, just leave it. Doesn't matter if they're whatever. If they say, hey, you know what, I don't have time for this. It's authentic. I promise. I give you my whatever. Leave it. Because you're the buyer, right? Ultimately, it comes down to you need to make sure you know what you're buying. And if you're going to be spending, exactly, Mike, there's no such thing as a stupid question. Just stupid people. Sorry. But no, really, ask the question. And so how do you do that? Well, find people who understand. It's like, hey, I really want to buy this coin. What kind of things can I be looking at? Hey, Paula, I have a question for you. We're going to be looking. So here, this is, I'll do an actual one that I screwed up on my own. Okay. Hey, Paula, I'm going to be buying a trade dollar. It's a 1976. I know that there's some counterfeits on the 1976. Can you give me a couple things that I should be looking for in the 1876 trade dollar that might help me indicate that it's fake?
I'm glad you clarified
1876, that. Yeah. 1876 trade dollar. Okay. Obviously, if it's a 1976 trade dollar, it's either a silver round, because there are trade dollars that are silver rounds, or it's a total counterfeit. But 1876 trade dollar, what kind of things might I be looking for to help me identify whether one of those is fake or not? Right?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you. Yeah, I'm asking you.
Look, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, but here's the thing. Okay, so it's like, well, hold on just a minute.
And on the arrows on the back, I know there's something about that where it hits the.
Exactly, but where are we going to go? We're going to get somebody else on the line, right? Yeah, we're going to get that information. But how do you find out what those things are? You ask the questions. That's where I'm trying to get to. Paula doesn't know everything off the cuff of her head. Copper coins.
I know where to find it.
Yesterday, exactly. That's the key right there. Mm-hmm. Know where to find it. Know where to go. Know where to look. Know where your good sites are. Know where your trusted sources are. That's what's important.
Yep.
We were in Copper Coins yesterday, and Adam, Coins and Ghouls, came in and said that he had found something really, really cool. And Chuck was like, you know what's really cool about that? I'm glad you know those numbers. He says, I know what double dies are. I can look for the great big ones. I just don't know the years where all of the big nuggets are. Like, I don't know which ones. I have to have a minute to kind of look them up and familiarize myself with them before I begin. And this guy is extremely intelligent when it comes to copper coins. So if what I would consider an expert, he will classify himself an expert, but I classify Chuck as an expert.
Chop marks, Roxilla. Yeah, chop marks.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. But again, he's like, I don't memorize all of that stuff. That I have to look at it. If I'm going to look for a specific thing, I will look for specific years, and I will be checking those things and go back. But if you go to a coin shop, you go to a coin show, you don't necessarily have the luxury of just sitting down at somebody's table and going through all of their stuff and opening your phone. And I'll tell you a
little secret. Yeah, and a little secret about, so Adam does open his phone, but Adam also picks certain varieties, and he will dedicate his time to finding those specific things that day.
Yeah.
He doesn't look for everything. Now, if he comes across something in the meantime that he finds or says, "Oh, that looks peculiar," then he'll look it up, right? If he sees a double die on something that he wasn't necessarily looking for, then he'll look it up.
But it goes
But yeah,
back.
he definitely uses references when he's doing it. It's not all off the top of his head.
Right. Well, but it goes back to what I said at the very beginning of this conversation, which is know what you're going for, right? When you
Yeah.
go to a coin shop, do a little bit of research before you go and know what it is that you're looking for,
Hmm.
right? That, again, we talked about, when you're going through coins, if you have a roll of pennies, the best thing you can do is sort them by date and mint mark, and then go through them in order, right? Pull up the resource, look at them, go through the 5 or 6 coins from that particular time or year, and then look at those things, pull up your resources, and then go to the next year, the next mint mark, because you want to be familiar. You want to keep in your mind's eye what the design elements are. So there are strategies to help you be better at these things, but how do you find them? You ask, right? You ask those questions. Coin Junkies here, and I have seen Coin Junkie in the last year and a half grow to an extreme knowledge when it comes to searching for things. He's found some amazing items, always asking questions, right? Really digging in and kind of growing into some stuff. And so we see it in our community. We see people who are really curious. We see people who are asking the right questions. And when they ask something, they're like, okay, well, hold on, Paula, is this, they're not die lines. They're called, what are those things called? The
Ley
round ones.
lines,
They're layered lines. There you go.
concentric
Right.
ley lines.
So and I knew what those were. I just was using those as an example. But that's how those things come. Oh, can you clarify what the difference between a brokerage and a die cap is? Right. So being able to ask those questions and know what those things are. I've seen some people really grow in this hobby in the last year. I've been one of them. But there are people who put me to shame with the amount of knowledge and the growth that they've done, because they're interested in a very specific subset of coins. And so again, it's about understanding what you're looking for and having those resources available to you. And that's what we try to do here, is allow you an opportunity for resource.
I've been throwing up a link in the chat. I don't know if you want to click on it. This was Ken Peavy's blog site.
The 1 Million Pennies Project.
1 Million Pennies Project. And he had the best list of collecting axioms. So if you want to click on that.
Yep, I'll share that.
You can scroll through those. And if you guys get a chance, I'm going to throw it up again. Throw it up. Look.
Yeah, don't throw up, please.
I'm going to put it in the chat again.
And I've got it up on my screen.
And the other one, yeah. So this was Ken's blog. I mean, it was a work in progress. So there's a lot that's not completed on that blog site. But these axioms are the best rules to follow when it comes to coin collecting. So you
What's
can
up, Reckless?
I don't know if you want to go through them but
yeah, we can actually go through these. These are good. If you guys don't know who Ken Peavy was, mentor to a great number of people at LiveCoin Q&A. Loved to talk.
Many people.
Right, loved to talk. We have people in our community that have had learned everything that they know from this gentleman. A plethora of knowledge.
Insomniac Theater. He was the OG of the Insomniac streams. Yep. He'd go live at 11 o'clock at night, and we'd be on until 6 o'clock in the morning. It's crazy.
But great information. So again, there are exceptions to every rule. This can't be more true. Another way to say it: there's no absolutes. The statement, of course, is absolute. So there goes that theory. That's funny.
Yeah.
anything can happen, okay, in any given day. When you think you've nailed down an idea, be ready to scrap it. Be flexible in your thinking. That's extremely important, right? This is, Kev PV died, by the way. He passed away in 99 or 2000.
No, it was it was 2019.
Was it 2019?
No, it was 2021, I think. 2021. 2021, I think.
Oh, it wasn't very long ago. So basically, he died right before I got into this.
Yeah. 2021.
So I watched a ton of his videos. But yeah, inspect every coin. Coin hunting is like a box. It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. That Lincoln set variety sheet barely scratches the surface.
Yeah, you don't have to read all of it all the way through, but they'll
when
get
in doubt, keep it. That's a great one right there. That is a great one. Your mind's eye, especially if you're looking at a lot of coins, your mind's eye will recognize that something's wrong. You may not know what it is, but trust that initial instinct, right? This is something that when they say, looking through your copper coins and you decide to look through them for some varieties and errors, don't get rid of them. Don't immediately take them to the bank. There are people very, very well known. I think Eric has talked about this again, or he talked about this before, not again. Regarding having looked at stuff and then somebody else came behind and looked at a couple coins and found like 8 items in the 20 coins he had left.
Yeah, 2020. I couldn't remember if it was 2020 or 2021, but yeah, right before his birthday.
Yeah. So, but keep those, right? Go through them. It doesn't mean you have to keep every coin, hint, pull up.
Right.
But yeah, definitely go back. And then the more you learn, then go back and look through them. You'll be amazed at what you find. Start with the assumption of damage. That there's not a better, I think that probably should be number 1 in my book.
Yeah.
Assume that everything you look at is damaged. And then talk your reason why it's not, right? Talk your way out of why it's not.
Use evidence-based numismatics.
Yeah, and that's really important. So explain evidence-based numismatics.
So evidence-based numismatics is basically like, so knowing the minting process, knowing what is normal before you look for what is abnormal, and being able to through proven facts, use that type of logic to prove that it's not damage, right? So you see a coin with a big gouge in it. You can go through the minting process and actually identify exactly where that happened during the minting process, and then give indicators of why it's not just a scratch, why it's an actual like struck through. There's key indicators. There's clues. Yeah, like the Richmond dime. Ew.
I still don't know how that made that on the cover of the magazine.
Oh my God, what a nightmare that was.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. So Invisible, I watched that movie last night, by the way. Abby Normal.
Oh, Abby Normal, yeah.
Such a great movie.
I love Axiom number 5.
Yeah, nobody knows it all 100% right all the time. And that's, again, I said that.
Except Ken Potter. Except Ken Potter, he says.
But it's one of those things where you're not expected to know everything. Okay, and don't get lured into the thing that you're expected to know everything about coins. This is why we put content out. This is why we network, right? This is why people like Mike and Matt do the Coin Show podcast. This is why Mike and Aaron do the Ancient Show podcast, where they talk about ancients and they're going through and they're looking at stuff. Whatever you're interested in, make sure that they are really aware of what's going on. And folks, there are people who know just enough about this to sound like they know what they're doing.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, and they will talk about both sides, and you watch one thing and it says one thing, and then you watch another and it says another. So be careful with that. Now, it doesn't mean that uh, they say something, a year ago, and then 1 year later they say something different because they've grown and they've learned more information and now they understand it correctly. I've made plenty of mistakes when we were talking about stuff like that. I always go back to incuse doubling being a great example of that. Saying that the people were finding some amazing things, and come to find out I was saying all the right stuff the wrong way. So that stuff happens. But again, you're not expected to know everything. You're not expected to know every coin. You're not expected to know every silver round or everything like that. Hey, Cadroll Hunter, have a great day.
Oh, have a great day, Cadroll
Thanks
Hunter.
for being here. Chad Brockman, out of my 20 Morgans my dad gave me, it took me time to research and finally discovered that I had 2 VAM 6A pitted reverse. Cool. Yeah, and again, just take time, learn about it, look at it, and see what's going on. Again, always assume things are damaged, but don't be hasty. One thing axiom that's not on here that I would like to add is act, don't react. Right? And I said this before, folks. Reaction is something that you do with emotion. Okay, take time to do due diligence. Really look at what it is that you have, and then make a decision. When you make a decision, act on your decision. Right? Don't act out of paranoia or FOMO or things of that nature. So take time to really look at that. Let's see. Let's go through chat a little bit and see what I'm missing. I'm glad for the nice Wheaties. Yesterday I received, among other things, the fun hunt. Solid stacks of bullion, excited to find things in change and having fun. Outstanding, Amy. That's good. That's what this hobby's about. Let's go back through and see what I've been missing. I remember Ken Peavy had found, Roxilla said they found Ken Peavy in 2019.
Yeah.
Roxilla, so if you want to send me some really good, solid images of that trade dollar, we can look it up. But they need to be really good, nice light, good quality. I'll pull it up in my email. Exclamation point email. I don't know why I clicked on that one. Exclamation point email, and that will pull up my email. Just like that.
Yeah, go through those axioms though and read them. They're priceless. They are words to live by, for sure, in this hobby.
And folks, a reminder, this is a hobby. Okay, there are some people who utilize this. They've made it their life. They've made it their business, but not everybody's expected to do that. Okay, it's important to understand. This is a hobby. Have fun with it, right? That's the important thing. And make sure you're smashing that like button. And if you're not subscribed, consider doing so.
And if you are only in this hobby to get rich, you're going to probably be disappointed.
You know how to make $1 million in coin collecting?
Yeah, start with $1 million.
Start with 2 million. Yep. Ouch. All right, so go ahead, ask questions. What questions do you guys have? Please talk about upcoming St. Jude auction. Yes, you mentioned that earlier. Thank you so much. St. Jude. Let's go ahead and pull that.
We have a video on our channel too. If you guys want to join Q&A and look at the channel, find the St. Jude's auction, talks about it. Or if you want to just go to Ida Herring's channel, she's got all the information up on her channel. It's coming up. So if you guys want to make donations, you need to get those donations in soon. And if you're planning on bidding, you will need to pre-register. It's super easy, takes 2 minutes.
Let's pull up Ida's YouTube. Let's throw that in there. There is Ida's YouTube channel. When we pull up Ida's YouTube channel, you can go to hosts, and then there you'll see information under her community page.
And you can make donations. She has a link So if you want to just make a donation to St. Jude's, use Ida's link, please. That way, our auction that we do gets credit for it. It really doesn't matter to Ida whether she gets credit for it or not, but it will show up in our running total, and that's whether she wants to admit it or not. It's important to her because she has a goal. And the closer she gets to her goal, the happier her little heart will be. We are probably not going to make our goal this year just because we were months behind because Ida had her back surgery, which was super important for her to do. So we were behind the 8 ball this year, but
Ida should have gotten a coin box of donations yesterday.
yeah.
Outstanding, ATS. Yeah, so again, this is in March. And again, March 13th through 15th, I think, if I'm not mistaken on the dates. Is that correct? 13th, 14th, 15th? Or is it the 14th?
I got to
15th,
look on
16th?
the calendar. Yeah, I think it's 15th.
Is it just Saturday, Sunday?
Yeah, I think it's
15th and 16th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, go check out Ida Herring. Go over there, check out that channel. And then Freaking Awesome just posted that Livecoin Q&A video and channel link. So thanks so much for that, Freaking Awesome. Much appreciated, brother.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yep. And Wounded Warriors is coming up pretty quick here too. So, but you've got the.
Didn't they just do Wounded Warriors? I thought they just finished Wounded Warriors.
Wounded Warriors happens twice a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they got that coming up, but Ida's and St. Jude's is coming up before then. So
yeah,
make sure you guys are focusing on that and getting that stuff to her because again, last minute it makes it really difficult for the team to put stuff together. There's also something else, and I want to do this not to take anything away, but how many people in chat, if you guys like clay shooting, stuff like that, the company that my wife works for does one of the owners has a nonprofit. You guys know this. She actually is in Tanzania right now doing surgical procedures. They did 17 knee surgeries today. They're running 5 ORs, and they had 9 hip surgeries today. They're crushing it. And they go through once or twice a year. They go to various locations. They're doing a fundraiser April 12th. If you guys are in or around the San Antonio area and you guys want to participate in that, reach out to me. Let me know. It's called WOGO. It's the Women's Orthopedic Global Outreach. And what it is it sponsors females who are orthopedics. Much like coin collecting, orthopedics is a male-dominated area, so they really work on growing female physicians, female surgeons, and really working on folks that are in the home. So they do things here in the U.S. and abroad. Right now they're doing something in Tanzania, but where they do free surgery. So they go in and they find women and children who are immobile. If there's guys that are there, that's fine, but the women and children come first because they're in the home most of the time, making sure that they give them mobility back so that the quality of life in the home can be improved. So if you guys are in or around the San Antonio area, down Corpus Christi all the way up to Houston, Dallas, if you guys are anywhere in that, reach out to me, let me know. There's April 12th, there's going to be a clay shoot, Coins for a Cause. I've reached out to a couple people on getting some donations, some really good donations for this particular event. So I'm waiting to hear back on them. But if you have any ability to get with a large company to do a cool donation, let me know and I'll connect you with them. Not to take anything away from St. Jude or take anything away from Wounded Warriors, but this is an extremely good program, and I 100% support them. If anybody wants information, I'll put that up on my channel, and you guys can check that out as well. Very cool. Let's see. Inkman, I've been working on Big T's donations for St. Jude. He's been donating $1 per cuss word. Oh, God. Good Eric doesn't have to do that. He'd be broke.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty
Oh,
cool.
somebody was asking too about short snorters. And I mean, I sound like I'm doing just a LiveCoin Q&A promotion today, and I'm not meaning to at all, you guys. But if you go to our channel, we had Tom Sparks a couple times on our channel, and he's the president and founder of the Short Snorter Project. And he gave like a 2-hour long presentation on him, I think about a year ago. We're actually going to have him on again soon. He's working that out, the details out with Amanda. But he did one on short snorters and one on so-called dollars. But if you want information on short snorters, just go check that out, because you won't get better information out there than what Tom did.
Absolutely agreed. For those of you who don't know what a short snorter is, so a short snorter program was created by the military. It exceeds the military. It doesn't have to just be the military.
Right.
But one of the purposes was if you were on deployment or you were in a specific command, what they would do is they would take dollar bills or $2 bills, or if you were, for instance, you were in Hawaii during the time of the Hawaii notes, they would go to a bar, they would sign these bills, and then if you were a member, you heard somebody was part of a thing like this, then you could actually go through and open up your coin, your short snorter roll, and get a drink or something like that. So it was all tied to kind of experiencing a libation and having fun with other people. And it became a really big thing. There's a lot of people who do this. In the military, we still use challenge coins, but the short snorters are highly collectible, and sometimes you can find extremely cool cool items regarding those particular elements. Very cool signatures, like extremely famous people. Some of them can be worth tons and tons and tons of money.
And he's actually the expert at identifying.
Yeah, and he actually will go through and do this. So if any channel is talking about these and they don't have him on, really LiveCoin brought them out and really talked about some very specifics. There's not too many people in the world who know short snorters better than that gentleman. So go watch that video if you're interested in. Meg, a short snorter sounds like a stunted piglet.
It was really a great. I mean, he did just like you. Yeah, he just did a fantastic presentation on it. It was long, and I am not into currency, but I was like riveted by it. There was so much cool information.
Yeah, and again, when you can hear, this is what was cool about them being able to get him on. When you can hear from the expert, right, the person who actually really knows this, he's known across the world as the person who can identify these as an extreme.
He does all kinds of shows and everything.
So if you really want to hear it from the horse's mouth, per se, go check out that video. Yeah. But Meg, that's funny. Who has teaching boxes besides Tiger? I have some, but I don't have anything like Tiger does. Do you know what a teaching box is?
Well, that's why I just said, what's a teaching box?
Okay. So Tiger Stacker has one of these, and basically it's for his grandkids. So
it sounds like I need one, though.
He's got 2 young grandsons, and what he's done is he's pulled coins from pretty much every genre of U.S. coinage. So he's got gold, real gold, fake gold, real silver, fake silver. He's got Indian head cents and fake Indian head cents. He's got real buffaloes, fake buffaloes. He's got some high-end trade dollars. He's got the important coins. They are kind of the really important, understanding what you're getting kind of box. And so what he does is he labels them, and then he has a sheet that he talks about each one of these, where he got it, what the important variety about this is, and how to find it. And then under each one of them, he lists a location or a person in which they can be contacted. So if you want to know more about this. And then this is his teaching box. And so what happens is as his grandkids get older, he's got a box with information that actually tells them about each individual coin. They're all numbered. He has listed on it what he paid for them. If there's a fake or a counterfeit, he's talked about how or what he did to verify or validate that it was not authentic. More leaning towards silver and gold and stacking and weight and ping testing and specific gravity and that kind of stuff. He actually found a gold coin that is 100% authentic, but on the Sigma it tested fake because of issues with the way that the coin was done. Like so, there's like a 10% copper, 90% gold. For some reason, the copper on this one rated high, and it showed as not being authentic. Specific gravity is perfect. Ping is perfect. Weight is perfect. So all the elements are there. It just doesn't test right. Absolutely great coin. So he took it out of his collection, put it in the teaching box, and laid all of his information there. Really, really good idea. Not a lot of people can do this because of cost. But his grandsons really have a great opportunity to really know and understand what his collection is, what's in his collection, what they need to look for. So really cool piece. And when I say Tiger is brilliant with that kind of stuff, he goes above and beyond. So fabulous. We need to do more about his teaching box and what his intent is.
Take that around to the schools.
Yeah, I mean, his teaching box is worth quite a bit of money. So I don't know that he would want to be handing it out to the kids to kind of circulate. Some of the coins in there are $1,000 coins, but but yeah, I mean, it would be good to have good examples of this and be able to do kind of stuff like that. Now, I've worked with one thing. You guys know Michael Stacking, older gentleman, and he's worked with his libraries to put some authentic fake coins together and label them and talk about the years and the mint marks and stuff. And so he's done that with his local library. Channels can't be quoted out or anything like that. It's totally anonymous. It's only about the coins and to talk about values or anything. So we wrote some stuff up and he was able to put a small presentation together. These are the kind of things to help information, to share information and get people to be aware of what's going on. So, yeah, Amy, thanks for bringing up the teaching box. It's, I don't know of too many people that do that. Tiger has done some amazing stuff in that regard. And we'll be talking about that more. This gives me an opportunity to drop Stack Collector. For those of you who don't know what Stack Collector is, I'm going to drop something really quick, and you'll see this in the backsplash of the screen. Stack Collectors is a program that Tiger and I are doing. It's going to be once a month.
Once a month.
Once a month. Yep, once a month. And we'll be going over the blending of stacking and numismatics and how they two pair together. We'll take different topics each month, and we'll go over some of the things. The last one we just did, which was on Tiger's channel. This next one will be on mine. The last one we did is we talked about the 1933 gold confiscation and what's going on and how that works. So be paying attention to that. And we have a standard view that will always be the same thumbnail, so you'll be able to see it no matter which channel you go to. So make sure you're subscribing and doing that so you can track on when we do our Stock Collector one. But again, like I said, when it comes to the science behind some of the stuff and the testing, Tiger's extremely on point. A lot of people are rubbed wrong because of the Tiger arms and stuff, but hashtag mini. I think that was meant for Meg. Yeah, so anyway, be aware of that. I'll drop that as well. So,
are you guys still going to be doing your prayer streams?
We are. We've got to get some stuff set up. We've got to figure out some of the nuances. But we are going to be doing that. We have to coordinate. Tiger's schedule is difficult, so coordinating when we can do that. I'm trying to set it up for every month, so we'll be talking about when that's going to come up, but that is definitely something that we're going to be doing. Not to take away from Yankee Stackers, because he does his prayer stream as well, but to kind of add to it. We need more of this in the holidays.
Everybody can pray. Yep. The more prayers, the better. Yep. I need a lot. So the more prayers I can get, the better.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so be paying attention to that one because that's going to be something that's going to be fun.
Good morning, Farm Dog.
Most likely our streams are going to be happening on Thursdays, just because of the way Tiger's schedule works.
Thank you.
So stay tuned. So you'll see more about that. But I think that's going to be an extremely fun program. But again, stacking and collecting, right? Looking at how to best serve yourself, because sometimes there's misconceptions even in the stacking world about the importance of numismatics, and so. But it's, you collect and you stack for different reasons. But sometimes you can stack things that have numismatic value. So it's important that you're aware of that.
Speaking of prayers, I got to get going.
Oh, yep, it is that time.
For church. So, all right, guys, everybody have a blessed Super Bowl Sunday. And if your team is playing in the Super Bowl, I hope they win, because I really don't care. So I'm just in it for I'm just in it for the food today. So.
The food and then the commercials.
The food and the commercials. I'm not even going to watch a halftime show because I don't know who that dude is, but it doesn't look like somebody I'd be interested in watching. So
who is doing the?
Some Kendrick Lamar or somebody like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know Kendrick Lamar is. Yeah.
I don't have a clue who he is, but whatever.
If you guys know Mr. McDonald, then you'll know who Kendrick Lamar is. So.
Mr. McDonald.
Tom McDonald. He's a musician.
Yeah. Okay, I don't. Yeah, I know he's a rapper. He is a rapper. Yeah.
Good. He's a good dude. He's a good dude.
All right. Have a great day, you guys.
All right, we'll see you. All right, folks. Well, hey, thanks for hanging out with me today. And again, as always, feel free to ask questions. Send emails if you want to. If you have a very specific topic that you guys want to hear or learn about, feel free to do so. I appreciate you guys coming in. Mike, I don't know if you're still here, but thanks for popping in and hanging out with us today. Definitely appreciate that. Kevin, Coin Junkie, Silver Spur, Yoxnav, y'all take care of yourselves. Farm Dog, good to see you. Farm Dog, you got that email. That's good to know. Go ahead and get a hold of the ANA and get that membership fired up there. I think he's got a magnet when it comes to ANA memberships. I'm not sure how he wins all of those. Oh, absolutely, Mike. You guys have an amazing coin show over there, and a lot of great information. The relationships and stuff that you guys have built with people over the years serve our community well. So, Frosty, my son's head to RCT Tuesday. Ooh, my friend, her son is heading to boot camp on recruit training camp on Monday. So we got two guys heading out to the military. He's joining Army, and your son is Navy. Wish him my best. I'm glad we were able to have a conversation. So, yep, support your local service member. And again, a lot of us have family members that are doing some amazing things. So please make sure you keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Speaking of prayers, Eric is still under the weather. Obviously, you noticed he was not in chat today. So keep him in your mind's eye. And be well, be blessed. I'm going to be dropping a video on Wednesday, and this one's going to be the Pilgrim Tercentenary commemorative coin. One of my favorite ships in the series of the commemorative coins, so go check that out. If you haven't watched that series, it's a pretty cool series. I know a lot of people aren't watching it because they don't collect it, but if you want to learn about a really cool set of commemorative coins, I'm doing the entire set from 1892 all the way up to the 1950s. So make sure you're checking that out. We're about a third of the way through. All right, folks, I love you guys. Thank you so much for all the support and the love. Again, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, please feel free to do so. It's free, but make sure you're smashing the like on the way out. Take care. Be well, be blessed. If you drink today, lose your keys. I want all you guys to be here Monday morning, okay? Take care. Be well, be blessed, and I will see you all